Golly, I forgot what it feels like to get a win. What's up, everybody? I'm Seth Floyd Hansen. This is the Seth Floyd Show. Quick reaction to this 49ers football game that just ended 5 seconds ago. I'm trying to get it in quick. And my first takeaway from this game, I put my stamp on it. I put it on it a couple weeks ago. Okay, I'm going to keep doing it week in and week out. Fred Warner, Defensive Player of the Year. Okay, I understand he's probably not going to win it. I understand there's not much chance for him to win it. Okay, but he deserves votes. He deserves to be in that conversation, okay? Just all over the field, okay? Through 4 games now, he's got 2 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles, okay? And a pick 6 touchdown today. He's just all over the field. He's a monster, okay? Set the tone today. He freaking set the tone today. I love Fred Warner. At the end of the year, he needs to be in the conversation. And here's my argument for it, okay? We've placed this unrealistic premium on sacks that I know affects the game like crazy, but Fred does everything. His job is to call the defense, to direct guys, to communicate, to play in coverage, to defend the run, to blitz and try to get sacks. Like, he does everything. He does way more than Nick Bosa, way more than TJ Watt, way more than Myles Garrett, and they'll tell you that. They will tell you that their job as a defensive end or an edge rusher is just to rush the quarterback for the most part. I know they have to contain. They got to make plays in the run game. And we place such a premium on sacks, and that's great. But I'm just saying, like, what Fred does, no one even – there's a wider gap between Fred as the best linebacker in the NFL and whoever's second. That's probably the widest gap in the NFL out of all positions. That's my take. If you could quantify it somehow, he is far and away the best middle linebacker. He just brings it every single week. Didn't even play the second half today, was a little banged up with his ankle. I think they just held him out because the Patriots didn't look good, and he should be. They just want to make sure he's 100% for Arizona next week. That's my first take. Second take, Bosa showed up. I called him out on the last stream that I had, and I called him out that I needed some big-time plays, and he got one. He got that forced fumble. I know the game was probably out of hand, but if they score a touchdown there, I mean, it feels a little closer. It's a 10-point game, about 6 minutes left or whatever, and he showed up. He was all over the field. I felt like there were multiple times he was affecting the play, Jacoby Brissett, so Bosa looked great. Finally gets a sack. He probably should have had 2. It was real close on one of them, but glad to see that with Bosa. Also, Malik Collins showing up huge. In the pass game, had a sack. In the run game, okay, he is causing pressure. We need that. Without Javon Hargrave, he has got to show up. He has to show up, okay? It sucks losing Hargrave, though Hargrave wasn't worth the money that we've paid him so far. And anyway, so it's good to see Malik Collins doing what he was doing. Offensively, okay, Brock was pretty good, had some big plays. He had some big plays. Statistically, it wasn't his best game. Okay, he was 15 of 27. That's like 55 completion percentage. So his season completion percentage is going to take a hit. But he had 288 yards. He had 1 touchdown. He really had 3 touchdowns. 2 of them got called back on the same drive. And then that amazing catch by George Kittle, mossing 3 defenders, which is incredible. I can't believe Kittle caught that. Can we talk about that for a second? Kittle is like a body catcher for the most part. So when he went up, as soon as Brock let the ball go, I almost thought he was throwing it away. But Kittle, man, just showing off the vert, showing off the concentration. That is very uncharacteristic for him to go up and catch the ball with 2 hands over defenders like that, because like 90% of his catches are like in the chest, which I'm not knocking him for. Like, you can get away with that if you're open. But, man, what a play. That was a huge play. Brock made some big throws, kept some plays alive on that first drive. Okay, 2 scrambles on 3rd downs to get the first. Just great. Just fantastic, man. Brock, he probably has a few throws that he wishes he could have had back, but overall, man, it was pretty good. Jordan Mason, 24 carries, 123 yards, and a touchdown. I thought he was gonna score on that second to last play of the game. That pitch to the left side, it's what put him over 100 yards. It looked like he was about to go to the house, which would have been electric. And he also had that reception called back on that BS George Kittle, like, holding call, whatever, man. The refs were, that was a bad call. And then the Juszczyk touchdown catch, they said 2 guys were moving at once, and the Greg Olsen, and I can't remember the other dude's name, was it Burkhart on the call? We're like, not sure who was moving. 49er fans should be upset, but regardless, 30-17 is your final. Not a big game for Ayuk again. He had 2 catches, right? Maybe he had. Did he have a third one? He had the big third down one in the third quarter. I think that this is what I think. And Eric Crocker, okay, Crocky, everyone calls him. He's on Locked On 49ers. He pretty interesting. Like he tweeted out today during the game. He's like, you're not going to see any high volume games from Ayuk right now because they're just running their offense. It's pretty obvious that they're not like targeting Ayuk right now, or at least they're not going out of their way to like feed him the ball, which he makes the point is like a pretty interesting move to not do that when you pay him 120 million or 30 million a year. I think Ayuk I think he's getting open. But I think a lot of teams are starting to do this because we murdered teams last year. The crossing routes over the middle, like teams are committed to taking that away. Now Kyle has got to overcome this. He's got to adjust a little more because teams are starting to pack the middle. And I mean, you're going to get 1 or 2 every now and then. I love that Kyle just called a couple deep shots. We hit a deep shot to Debo over the middle. We hit a deep shot to Jennings, an amazing catch. And if you look from the behind view throw from Brock Purdy to Jennings, dude was draped all over him, and Brock just dropped it in the bucket. But it was as equally of a good catch by Jennings. He didn't have a high volume game. He had 88 yards on 3 catches, but big play, Jennings, man, huge. But Kyle needs to adjust, and I mean it's hard to complain. We scored 30 points. Really, it was 23 because the Fred Warner touchdown. But this is a step in the right direction. I think this game felt weird. The reason this game felt weird and it didn't completely get out of hand is because of that stupid Isaac Guerrero fumble coming out of the half. Like, oh gosh, I don't want to be too hard on anybody. You're in the NFL, great. But man, you need to cut left, find the hole, find the seam, get up the field, and you run into your own guy and drop the ball. Now, like, this is the 3rd week in a row we've had a stupid freaking special teams blunder. Okay, against the Vikings, you have a block punt. Against the Rams, you give up that long punt return when you need to pin them deep. Okay, you also had a missed field goal, and then this. Now, a fumble by Guerrero is not a coordinator issue, but you could argue that it's a coordinator issue to have Guerrero back there. All I know is every single season, Kyle Shanahan has some weird special team stuff. We're bad on special teams every year. And that is, like, if you want to knock Kyle for anything like legitimate, fine. The Super Bowl's fine, but he's there. He's in the Super Bowl. My biggest critique of Kyle Shanahan, I think, and maybe this is a hot take or whatever, but the biggest glaring thing that falls on Kyle Shanahan is how bad special teams is every year. I don't know if he can't hire the right coordinators. This is Brian Schottenheimer's 2nd year, I think, as the special teams coordinator for us. You have got, I was texting my buddies, go find the best special teams coordinator in college and double his pay and bring him in. Like, you have got to do something. You have to fix this instead of giving, like, no-name guys chances, because enough is enough. You've arguably lost a couple games this year because of it, so get something done there. But overall, my overall take in this game, that's what I was going to say. If without that fumble, the offense gets the ball. I mean, they had been moving the ball. They moved the ball all game. There was a weird couple drives in the 3rd quarter, but moving the ball all game. You've been moving the ball all game. If you get that ball and go down and score, and immediately it's 27-3, I think this game feels a lot different, and it kind of gets off the rails. But football is all about momentum, and immediately, so the Patriots get that long 63-yard field goal by Joey Sly, and then immediately get the ball on a fumble, and then they score a touchdown. Like, the momentum got weird. Now, we responded, which was fantastic. Huge throw to Debo down the field. Responded with a Jordan Mason touchdown. So that was great. I guess what I'm saying is I feel like this game could have been bigger, could have been a wider margin of victory. This had 45 points written all over it for the 49ers. It didn't end up that way, but to me that's because weird things happened. You didn't have Fred in the second half. They were, you had a lot of guys kind of rotating in, it felt like. I saw a bunch of times where you had Debo and Ayuk out and they were rotating in. Chris Conley. It just felt like they were trying to get guys reps, and it's good. It's a good thing. It's a good thing because with all the injuries, you need guys to be ready to step up and play. And how do you get them ready to play? They've got to get reps, meaningful reps, not just in practice. So I don't think it was the end of the world. Also, the Brock pick, he was getting a little greedy. I wish he hadn't have thrown that ball. I like that Brock's just cojones are made of steel, and he'll fire it. But in that situation, man, it made me uncomfortable a little bit to give the ball back. They were only up 14. A field goal at least would have put you up another 3 scores again, but it was kind of an uncharacteristic thing, but whatever. I'm sure Brock was kicking himself for that, but other than that, I thought it was pretty good. So not perfect, my overall take. Not a perfect game by any means, but with guys out, no Hufanga, no Fred Warner in the second half, still no Dre Greenlaw. I mean, they only gave up, I'm not even giving that touchdown, the one touchdown they gave up to New England, like you gave them a short field. Isaac Grando fumbled. And in that second half, like the defense came to play. You had Flanagan, Fowles, D. Winters. Devondre Campbell, he's still not my favorite linebacker, but he made some plays. Like they held it down, and that's fine. That's good. I mean, it was a bad Patriots offense, but still you're moving in the right direction. You're moving in the right direction. You do not have to be your final product. In fact, you do not want to be your final product in week 4. And after how these last 2 weeks have gone, you needed something to build momentum on, which you did. You did. But it's almost good it wasn't such a blowout because now guys can't relax and convince themselves, oh, we're back. Because you're not back. You're not. Things still feel a little weird. Things are still not clicking exactly how they should. Okay, it's the complete opposite of last year. Week 4 last year is when we beat the Cardinals, and then week 5 we destroyed Dallas on Sunday Night Football, and I thought we were going undefeated and going to the Super Bowl, and we peaked so soon as a team. Now we've played a lot worse than I had hoped these last 2 weeks, the 2 weeks before this, but at least guys are going to be focused and on a trajectory. Again, it is not about how you're playing football in September or October. It's how you play after Thanksgiving and what kind of team are you going into the playoffs. Now, you got to win games. You got to find ways to win. Sucks they didn't do it last week, but fine, move on. Okay, the Rams lost 1-3. The Cardinals lost 1-3. I expect Seattle to lose tomorrow. That'll put them at 3-1. You'll be 2-2. And guess what? If you win your next 2 games, all you have to do is win your next 2 games, assuming Seattle loses to Detroit or whoever, and you will be first in the NFC West. You'll at least take it over in week 6. Oh, so I'm about breathing heavy, guys. Sorry, I got a lot to say. Not a perfect game, but a step in the right direction. And rejoice, hallelujah, 49er fans. You can go through this week without being depressed. Food gets its taste back again. You can turn on the local radio. You can get on YouTube or podcasts or whatever and listen, and not have to turn it off and listen to like true crime stuff, which is what I do. If you have any true crime recommendations, hit me up. I've listened to them all, but I need something new. I love that stuff. And I ran through it all this last 2 weeks because I couldn't listen to anything. Anyway, it was good to get that off my chest. 49ers won. Big game against Arizona coming up. Okay, they looked pretty lifeless against Washington today. But you're going to get a motivated Cardinals team coming into San Francisco. You get to play in San Francisco. 49ers didn't play well enough that I think guys won't take it serious. I think guys understand, like, we need to get better. After that stupid Rams game, we can't take anything for granted. And so I'm excited. I'm feeling some optimism finally. It's been 2 weeks, but I'm feeling a little optimism. Thank you, guys. That's what I got for you. You guys are the best. Like the video, subscribe. I'm going to have multiple videos this week. We'll do a 49ers preview. I'm going to do a different video on Tuesday talking about something else just around the league. Wednesday night hangout. You guys, you know the deal, okay? Enjoy this victory, 49er fans. I'm out.